Hey, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy, J. King Hefner, the beautiful Cali Sun, and the beautiful Saima Renee Uzumaki. And I can't lie, these girls looking smoking today. Once again, I got Saima with the little grizzly shirt that I made for Cali the other day. And I think she look cute in it. And I got Cali with a darker colored wife beater on. And like I say, she always make everything look sexy. But today I got her with the little pink arm guards, hand guards with the netting, just like the other ones you saw. And I got Saima still with the black ones on. And I think these girls looking real punky, looking real sexy, looking real fly. But with all this said, man, it's the day after Thanksgiving. I know everybody got that turkey belly. Everybody feeling lazy today. And so are we. So we decided to look at a movie. And as you can see the title of this show, it is a review of the movie Lars and the Real Girl. It's a movie that I had heard about a long time ago and honestly didn't know what the hell it was. I just thought it sounded like something I didn't want to see. Of course, since I've got my dolls, people suggested for me to see Cherry 2000. And they was like, man, you need to see. No, somebody told me that I reminded them of the character in Lars and the Real Girl and that I needed to see that movie. And so, man, it had been in the back of my mind like, damn, I forgot about that movie. And I didn't realize that's what it was about. So I finally got a chance to sit down on this lazy day, me and the girls, and check out the movie, man. So I'm finna tell you guys what I thought about it. And so bear with me because I got some things written down. And I'm just going to get through all my thoughts. It may be a little choppy, but here we go. So first of all, the movie, it does what I thought it probably would do from the beginning anyway, which is sort of depict doll owners as having to be off, having to be a little crazy, having to be major outcasts. They had to, he was living in the garage of a house where he could have been living on the inside with his brother and his wife, but he chose to live in the garage, which I didn't think that was anything bad, but they just made it seem like it was something bad. He was going to work today, super depressed, acting like he didn't want to be involved in anything. People was asking him to go to dinner. And by the way, major spoiler alerts coming. This movie like 12, 13 years old. But I just say, if you haven't seen it, go look at it and then come back and look at this video if you don't want any spoiler alerts. But either way, he was going to his job, doing his everyday routine, being depressed. They was inviting him to do stuff, he wouldn't do it. So make a long story short, the guy basically sort of did like what happened to me. A guy at his job was like, man, look at these girls, man. Forget a real woman, man. You can get one of these dolls. And he looked at it, but he acted like he wasn't interested. But as time went on, a little while in the movie, they showed him getting a delivery to his house. Man, and I will say this was so similar, it had me tripping. I'm glad I didn't see this movie before I got my dog. I say that. When he got the dog, man, he instantly changed. He instantly changed into another person because instead of them trying to come get him out of the garage to come eat dinner and things of that nature, man, as soon as that girl got there, he went knocking on the door, ready to introduce her. And I thought that was cool because that's how I feel. I just felt so excited, man. Like, hey, look, I'd show anybody. I'd tell anybody. And that's exactly what I did. But he took the girl over there and introduced him. And he did a little bit different than me because although my girls got personas, I didn't just... It's hard for me to explain, but he just jumped in like he was just so caught up into the whole fantasy from the beginning. And what I mean by that is I'm caught up in my girls' fantasies, but I still have a firm foot in the real world where if I have to explain the dynamics with my girls, I can do those things separately. Where it seemed like they had him depicted where he was caught up to where he couldn't come out of it. So when he was explaining the girl's backstory and whatnot, he couldn't step aside and explain. It sounded like he was fully caught up in it. So, once again, a bad depiction of doll owners, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. So after he talked to them for a while, they was acting weirded out. The brother, they stepped out of the room, and of course they was saying he had to be crazy off bat because he decided to get a doll, and he was like, man, I can't believe this. He got a doll. He talking to a doll. Oh my God, my brother talking to a doll. So I was tripping. I know that does happen. But what I thought was super unrealistic was at the end of that meeting, he decided to leave. He said, hey man, I want to leave my doll in the big house. I'm going to go back and sleep in the garage. It ain't nowhere in hell, man, I can see a new dog owner. You on the first night your dog get to your house, you decide to leave it sleeping away from where you are. You know, now my first couple nights I didn't sleep with my girls, but here's what wasn't finna happen. I was not finna leave my girls over somebody else's house, whether it be my brother, mother, anybody, and say, hey, let her sleep over here. So I thought that was pretty unrealistic with a guy leaving his brand new dog with his family members. And he basically asked for her to stay there for the foreseeable future, to live in the house while he stayed in the garage. I'm not living apart from my dog, bro. I did notice that he does a lot more talking to his dog than I do with the girls. I will say this, since the first day I got my dogs up until now, I do a lot more talking to them. But I don't have the full-blown continuous conversations that they depicted him having, although I'm sure some dog owners do. Of course, his brother's wife and his brother tricked him into, which nobody would get tricked like that, but they tricked him into taking their dog to go see a doctor. Basically, him going to see a doctor, and had him getting evaluated, where the doctor said that she believed he was having delusions, simply because he gave the dog a backstory, he gave the dog a personality, and things of that nature. Just like Callie and Saima Renee Uzumaki, they all have their personalities, but rest assured, I ain't having no damn delusions. So I thought that was going too far, basically trying to say, hey, you gotta be delusional if you got a dog. But I will say this. At one point, the brother was talking to the doctor. He was like, man, yeah, and he out here treating this girl like she real. And the doctor agreed with me. She said, well, I will say this. She is real. Take a look out in the lobby. And I love that part was in the movie, because I make a mistake when I say Callie is not a real girl. I might say, yeah, man, Callie compared to a real girl. No. Callie and the girls are real girls. They're just not human. And the doctor did make that distinction, which I like that she did. I did trip off of him riding out in the car with her and taking her out places. That honestly was like looking in the mirror. And I'm so glad I didn't see this movie before I decided to take my doll out. It was really a pure thing from my standpoint of something I wanted to do. I wasn't influenced by a movie or anything of that nature. But when I see how they do it in a movie, it really does give me a nostalgic feeling of how I was when I began taking my doll out. It really reminded me of that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Later on, they started showing how the guy and his wife, or his brother and his wife, were bathing the dog. Man, look, man, like I say, I'm not leaving my dog in nobody's care to be sleeping in their house overnight under normal circumstances. That's for one. And for two, everybody out there, if you don't have a dog, let me let you know something. Bathing your dog is a very intimate experience. It's where you grow closer to your dog. It's where you learn about caring for your dog. And like you say, man, it's literally damn near a spiritual connection that happens every time you're cleaning your dog, man. Every time you take that responsibility. So to see somebody relinquishing that responsibility to others, letting somebody see your dog naked, man, that's highly offensive. So I feel like they missed the ball there. They missed the mark there in the movie with thinking that any dog owner would allow their dog to be just bathed by other people on a continuous basis. I just don't see that. Or even once. I don't see that. So they just keep depicting him also with some type of disorder, man. And that's what really sort of frustrates me. You got to have a disorder, some type of mental disorder, if you're a dog owner. And he keeps on pacing, squeezing his head like he can't think. And he also got some type of disorder where he's saying you can't touch him. Like if you touch him, it hurts. It literally hurts him. So the doctor's sort of trying to help him work through that condition. And I guess that can be explained as to why he don't have a doll in the house, but he does touch the doll. So I'm just sort of in the dark with that little disorder he has. But I know he decided to go to a party with his friends at one point, work friends. He was invited. He normally doesn't go. Just like it's a lot of times I don't really go out in public, but I've been way more places since I've got my dogs because they just make me feel more free. Where he decided to go to a party with his co-workers because he feels more free. And when he got there, man, people was gawking at him, calling him weird, calling him crazy. Same names I hear when I'm out. He didn't let it bother him either. I thought he was going to leave at first, but he decided to stay. And sure enough, as the party went on, people just started getting magnetized toward his doll. Somebody even danced with the doll later on in the movie. They were more weirded out by him than the damn doll, to be quite honest. He was the one acting weird as hell. Hell, they was cool with the doll. Just back and forth, they continually show him having these mental problems. Pacing, eye blinking, eyes twitching and stuff. I mean, I just think they was going too far with that. But either way, people around town, man, they started selling around the doll. They liked the doll. Like I say, at first they looked at it like it was weird, but it get to some crazy point where the doll actually get jobs and stuff where people come picking the doll up, taking it places to do different things and stuff like that with him not with the doll now. And once again, unrealistic. If Callie do got a job, you rest assured it's going to be a job where I'm involved. It's no way I'm finna send her off 5 and 6 hours or 3 or 4 hours with somebody without me supervising her. And I've always said, man, like dolls, it's just like anything else. You know people don't take care of your stuff like you do. I don't care what they say they're going to do. They not more than likely going to take care of it like you do. So you'll get your dog back with all type of nicks and scratches, whereas you wouldn't have ever done that. And what you going to say? Once they there. It's on you to try to get them out. So I just don't think that's realistic. Once again, Callie having jobs or having responsibilities or going to fundraisers or volunteer work or whatever she might be doing without me. That just ain't happening. Oh yeah, behind his back they keep on talking about he won't get better, or his brother really does, and saying, man, I guess he gonna end up with dogs forever. They keep saying it like it's a bad thing or like he got a mental condition. No, it's a relationship choice. You don't have to be like the guy in that movie, how they depicted him to be crazy, to be with dogs and have them as your companions. You can be completely sane having companion dogs. And you can have them for the perpetuity of your life. You don't have to decide to go back to humans and it won't be a bad thing. Also, man, one thing I didn't like that he was doing or they had him doing in the movie, man, he was having full-blown arguments with his dog. Full-blown arguments with her, man, as time had went on. And I know some dog owners, how they say their dog don't want them cheating on them and things of that nature. So you make whatever fantasy you want to make. You make whatever fantasy you want to make. And I'm just glad with my girls, it was just certain things that I know would lead to stressful situations that I don't want in my life. I made the perfect girls for me. You got to do that for you. But for me, my girls don't get jealous. If I ever get some human vagina, they ain't going to be mad at me. If I was to set the fantasy up like they would be mad at me, that'd just be another stress on my chest that I don't need. Me and my girls don't argue. They cool with everything I do. You know, I know some dog owners may want to live a fantasy and they may think that's more real to have themselves arguing with their girls. No. The reason I got my companion dogs is for the simple fact I don't want arguments. I don't want misunderstandings. I don't want stuff raising my blood pressure. They're here to ease my blood pressure. So it ain't no way in hell I'm going to be arguing with my dogs. Another thing that ended up happening, his coworker had, and she was a cute girl, had a crush on him the whole time, man. The whole time that it was going on, that the movie was going on. And she had been sort of making advances to him the whole time. And he was sort of pushing her off to the side. She eventually ended up getting this human boyfriend. And once you know it, he started getting a bit jealous. And that's actually when those arguments with the dog started happening. If you really look at the movie, I guess he started getting frustrated. He didn't like somebody getting that human woman. And you can't have both, man. You know, you can't have both. You can't be putting, like me, I can't be putting my relationship out here with the dolls, you know, and expect some woman not to be like, well, you're in a relationship with the dolls, so I'm going to go ahead and date another man. Nah, man, you got to be resolute in what you want. Either you want the dolls, either you want a human woman, or either you want both. But you got to make that clear. You can't be with the dolls wanting a human woman, getting frustrated about it. Make your mind up. Go after what you want. And I think that eventually, he, of course, went on a date with this human woman. And all of a sudden, you know, you could tell he really liked her. He said, he talked to the human woman. He was like, man, look, I can't cheat on Bianca, which is the real dog's name, he was a beautiful dog. He was like, I can't cheat on her, so I want you to get the wrong impression by this date. And she was like, no, I ain't gonna get the wrong impression by this date. I won't want you to cheat on her. I won't want, and vice versa. A woman shouldn't be cheating on her man if she really love him. So once you know it, soon thereafter, a scene came where he played out like the dog was dying, like the dog was getting sick. They called the ambulance, made a big scene, all these things, and basically he went on and played it on out, and she ended up dying. He ended up burying her and everything. But I feel like, he basically did that because he wanted that human woman, and he released himself from cheating on her. But I am glad that he went through a lot of emotions when he did decide to get rid of the dog. He was really heartbroken, and it really was tearing him up. And I say this, man, right now, it'll really kill me to lose any of my girls. You know, I'd be shedding tears. I'd be heartbroken, man. Even though he made the decision, I'm glad they did show that there was an emotional attachment there. I'm glad they showed that, man. They had a full funeral. I ain't opposed to it if that's what you want to do. They had a full burial. Now, I didn't like that. You know, if that was a real case scenario, man, look, I don't like the fact that he buried that dog like that, you know, at the peak of her condition. That dog was probably like a year old, and you burying a real dog. Man, like, it was his dog. He can do whatever he wanted to with it. But just for me, from a standpoint, like, man, dude, I hate to see a dog that great, get buried like that. And this guy really didn't even use the dog. You know, that dog can go and help somebody else. And honestly, man, that dog, real dog, looks so good. I wanted that real dog. I'm like, man, I like that dog. I really like that dog that they used. So I didn't like the fact that he buried it and it was that new. He just killed it off and buried it. I really didn't like that. But even me, man, I even think like how, man, but when I pass and I got a lot of good dogs, it's in great condition. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna write in my will, whether I want them to be displayed or buried or whatever. So I can't say it's completely crazy, but from a standpoint of me sitting right here, I'm like, man, I'd love to have that dog. One thing I didn't like was right over the casket, that real girl that had liked him came to talk to him, man, and they was talking. And he basically asked her out on a date right over the casket. I'm like, hey, man, show the girl some respect, man. You asking the girl to go for a walk right over your real dog. If you're going to play it all the way out, play it all the way out respectfully. But I will say this. The girl was a cute little girl. I liked her, the one they had with him. But my thing is, remember this, guys. Remember what I always say if you ever date a human woman and you already got a dog. Look, man, you can put your dog up. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm going to let you know something. Don't get rid of your dog, bro. You better not get, and if you ever do talk about getting rid of your dog, it better not be for a while. I'm going to tell you why. If that girl ever leave Lars, if she ever was to leave him, if that was a real situation, he'll be trying to dig that real dog up to get Bianca back in his life. Because it'll come hitting him, he'll realize part of the reason you got that dog is because of loyalty, my friend. She ain't leaving you. She ain't upgrading on you. She ain't trying to think that you ain't good enough for her. So, you got to realize, like I say, even with the best human women, like I've said in past videos, the one fatal flaw that none of them can overcome is the loyalty factor. And your dog, she'll never, ever, ever leave you. And that's one thing that I would never do if I was to ever even date a human woman again. I would never, ever get rid of any of my dogs. And if they don't want to talk to me because of it, so be it. So, lastly, I just say once again, man, that was an amazing dog, and I wish I could have had her. But my total review of the movie is, if you're a dog owner, I think you definitely need to see the movie. And if you don't own a dog yet, I would rather you get your dog, grow with your dog for a little while, then go back and look at the movie. You know, it'll still be fresh to you even after seeing this review. You know, you won't remember all the details and stuff. And I didn't tell you every single thing that's going to happen. Once you grow with your dog and go back and look at that movie, it's going to hit you like, damn, this shit is a trip. And so, like I said, I think it's a must watch. And I would give that movie a rating of, I'd probably give it a good B+, man. A good B+. It was a good watch. So, with all that said, I know it's been a long review, long video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you stayed the whole time. Hope you subscribe and turn them notifications on. We love you. We appreciate you. Hey, get some exercise in. Hey, get some of that turkey out them bellies. But until next time, it's been J-Dog King Hefner, the beautiful Cali Sun, and the beautiful Saima Renee Uzumaki. We are out.